Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Jared Brandon Wound Pickups.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey, it's me, Todd Novak, with these two clowns here. We are super excited that you are listening to our little show, the Guitar Knobs podcast. Wherever you are listening from, welcome. We hope you're having an awesome guitar week. And we have got somebody super duper special on the line.
Hello.
This is going to be great, everybody.
Apparently not that special.
Really classy there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Wooly. I'm a strange little man who sits in a room and makes guitar pedals.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And where are you from, Wooly? Tell us where you're actually from, and then tell us what your company is.
Okay, so I'm actually from Newcastle, which is in the northeast of England. It's the bit below Scotland, but I live in Philly now, and I make pedals under the name Champion Leccy.
And that's with 2 C's, not 2 G's. Just
That's
so everybody.
right.
So
Yeah.
we're going to spend a little bit of time probably doing a little bit of
Dialectical research.
Yeah. So this should be fun, and watching Jared's face as you talk is going to be extra fun. I've been looking forward to this. Friends. If you don't know who Champion Leccy is, I hope you have seen on the internets somewhere, on Instagram or on Reverb, some cool little pedals with lightning bolts on it.
And underwear.
That's my favorite. And underwear and hairy pink legs and arms. He makes some fantastic pedals. I've talked about them in the past several times. So we're going to find out all about how these came about. Hey, everybody, we just want to give a big thanks to Rode Microphones for sponsoring our show and allowing us to record our thoughts, opinions, and utter nonsense about guitars on the Rode Procaster Series microphones. We are absolutely loving these things. I really hope you can hear a difference in the signal, in the sound quality. They are hand-built and designed entirely in Sydney, Australia, and we're very grateful to the Rode company for helping us out with our podcast.
Thanks, Rode.
Hooray! Check them out online. They also make awesome live band microphones for your band recording purposes and such. We also want to call your attention to reverb.com, and we know that Andy's making great videos over there, lots of demos. He's carrying on his long tradition, and he's got a new demo over on Reverb featuring one of the most talked about pedals in the last year, but certainly out of the last NAMM show. That is the Game Changer Audio Plus Sustain pedal. This is the one that you probably have seen around. It looks like a piano pedal, and that's actually what it's modeled after sound-wise too. If you listen to other podcasts, they've certainly been talking about them. I know over on the Guitar Nerds, that was up on their Gear of the Year. It would take the whole show for me to try to actually explain what this does and how it does it. So I'm going to just skip that and point you over to the news section and then over to the tone report. And you will see Andy playing this thing, and you can tell by the look on his face, he's really, really enjoying himself. It's pretty fantastic.
Even his foot seems pretty happy.
His foot seems happy, I would say so, yes. So check that out. I want to give also one more shout out to Julie Z over at Custom Ink for hooking us up. It's much appreciated. So, gentlemen, Jared, go first. What's going on in your music world this week?
Yeesh. So I'm not supposed to talk about my pickup company usually in these
Speak
things.
about it.
Well,
I want to throw somebody a bone here. This happens once in a blue moon, but thank you to Nick Bongers with Great Lakes Pickups.
Are you asking me or telling me?
No, I'm shouting out to him right now.
Okay.
This fella, I met him at a guitar show in Detroit, and we talked for a little while about shop and all this and that, but he referenced a customer to me, one of his customers to me for a specific rewind. Mm-hmm. And it's a speed bump pickup. And those
What's
are
that?
You are familiar with the old brand K-A-Y?
Yes.
They have these.
It's got a hump in it.
That's right. That's why they call it a speed
rectangular.
bump pickup.
Yeah.
There's a whole big hump through them. It's actually a blade magnet,
Yeah. Gotcha.
and it
I'm
takes
tracking,
special.
buddy.
As opposed to a babe magnet.
Right.
Like me.
And you guys really crap on my segments. So anyway, it takes special tooling to rewind.
Yep.
And because I have it, but I thought that was really great of him, and thank you, Nick. And,
Good. I like that.
Yeah, that really kind of made my day when he did that.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Hey, Wooly, what's going on in your guitar world this week, buddy?
About a week ago, I bought a bass, and I decided that maybe I'm going to play bass because it's so much
It
easier.
has less strings.
I know, like, it's all like age-old joke about how it's only got 4 strings and it's got massive frets, but I picked it up and I was like, oh yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
You can probably ditch the other 3 strings and you'll probably be fine.
pretty much, I mean, I only play with one finger. I type with like 2 fingers, like 1 finger each hand, so you know.
Wasn't it the Presidents of the United States of America, the band? It was like
At Peaches, man, that was a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, was it
Peaches.
1-string bass or 2-string bass?
I think it was 1.
Yeah, it might have been 1. Perfect.
So what kind of bass did you get?
I got the Squire PJ bass.
Nice.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
What color?
Sunburst.
Nice.
I'm kind of traditional
Okay.
that way. It's always sunburst or white. All my guitars.
I like a white bass
black.
myself. I like a white bass with a black pickguard
It's a
myself.
good base for stickers.
I picked up one of the Dee Ramone P basses.
Oh yeah,
It's white with black pick guard.
yeah. It's also Paul Simonon. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
this one has a maple.
Clash.
Clash.
Anyways, and Ramones, Clash and Ramones all day long. Okay. Cool. So you're a bass master now. That's awesome. Are you gonna build a bass pedal?
I already did,
Oh,
which is why I bought the bass because I normally I tuned to B, but I was like, but it's not a bass. So I'll just buy a bass. And then I was like, took this schematic for do you remember the old Boss OC2? Which was one of my first guitar pedals, the little dodgy octave with the
yeah. Okay.
glitchy.
Yeah.
Well, I loved all
didn't
that.
track at all.
Yeah, and I love that, and that's kind of one of the things I really like is like octave that doesn't track very well. So just like you've got whatever you're playing, and then it's like
it's all finicky.
yeah, or like this strange harmonic content in the background.
Yep.
So I basically took the second octave out, and then added some other stuff. I did lots of research and went on all the usual DIY forums, and I got it sounding good. And then I was like, this is probably going to sound really good on bass. So I bought one, and it does. It sounds much better on bass.
That's cool.
And it's called Sausage Fingers.
That's me.
That's great. That's
Based
great.
on whenever I try and I do some small videos on Instagram. Going to be doing more in the future, but like whenever my hand comes across the screen, you can see like where my wedding ring is, and just my like piggy little hands. Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, that's excellent. Everybody listening, if you haven't been able to tell already, one of the great things about our friend Wooly here is that he clearly has a great sense of humor, which comes through in his pedals. So I was looking forward to this interview for a while. And anybody that names their pedal Sausage Fingers, I mean, what? You can't argue with that. How can
I'm in, man.
You can't get mad at that.
I'm going to buy one and I don't
Exactly.
play bass.
Yeah. Let's see, Tony, what's going on, buddy?
Well, this week, I met with a guy just up the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
He has a company that specializes in kind of signs and graphics, and he does these really cool, almost like origami, except on a bigger scale. And he uses corrugated plastic for things.
I am a world of confused right now, but keep
So
going.
imagine, if you will, a 26-foot origami donkey.
I can't.
Like origami paper comes to mind.
Yes, well, but it's
Folding paper.
shaped like as if it were folded, but he uses
Corrugated plastic.
corrugated plastic to make
the
these.
hell?
Oh, they're super cool.
Okay, so
This is a guy you should talk to.
okay, So
So long story, even longer.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to stop in because from time to time I have some like cut vinyl needs and different things like that. But we got into a really good discussion about some options that I've been wanting to do, i.e. either multicolor graphics or photographs on guards.
Oh.
And he's pretty confident that he has the technology to do that. And we talked a little bit about that. Even some of the, I don't know if you've seen like the aluminum prints. They're like printed on aluminum and then shot over with clear. Super cool stuff. So it was interesting to talk to someone who doesn't know exactly what I do, but he can apply some of the things that he knows. And we're talking about maybe doing some kind of standard pick guards that way.
That just made me think of something. Okay, our friends at Daimel Guitar Works in Germany. Hopefully you guys have checked him out on Instagram or the other internets. I mean, phenomenal guitars this guy's making. And we did an episode with him. Go check that out on theguitarknobs.com. To note, his partner actually is a well-known pop artist in Germany who's done a couple of his guitars in full-blown pop art. Like the entire guitar is pop art. In fact, she's working on a new one right now and just shared the graphics. We have that up on Guitar Knobs group page on Facebook, I'm pretty sure. I'm actually going to try to see if she can send us a print of that. I think that would look amazing in here. But that just made me think, you might want to actually do to see if you guys can get together and do like a limited run of pick guards with this pop art, because it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think it's really possible. I mean, I've had
my name's Cora Junger with a J. Junger.
But yeah, so as things progress, I'll be posting things either on Instagram or my website. But I'm really excited because this is. I get people that ask, "Oh, I want to put a photo of my dog, wife, whatever." Dog, wife, grandmother.
Sure, that's what I said.
Yeah, like they're all on the same level, right?
But and punctuation is important. Yeah, for instance, it's "let's eat grandma" versus "let's eat, grandma."
Right.
So punctuation matters. But anyhow, this is something that I can do kind of simple graphics, but when it comes to like multicolor things or photographs, I've kind of shied away from. But he's pretty confident we can do some things on the backside of clear or whatever. So I'm pretty excited about it.
That sounds fantastic, man.
Yep. So that's even one more way to personalize the instrument of choice.
Yeah. Or you could do a plaid guard.
Or you could do
Just
a plaid guard, multicolor. It would be super easy.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you his card.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Good guy.
All right, I'll check that out.
Yay!
So let's see. What I have been doing this week is...
What have you
really
been doing?
cares.
You guys did that on... You planned that, didn't you? You bastards.
No, I said, what have you been doing?
Oh.
He said he did. Tony said he didn't.
Okay. All right.
What have you been doing this week in your guitar world?
Well, I've been kind of neglecting my Explorer that I picked up.
Oh.
And so, because I've been writing music for this band I'm in.
You know what it really needs?
What?
A new pick
new
guard.
pick guard? Yeah. You know what?
Dog wife on it.
An Explorer would look amazing with like full on pop art all over it.
Oh, a full-on pop art.
That
or
would look killer.
a tartan plaid.
agree.
Or a tartan plaid. Yeah. A tartan plaid Explorer. Boom.
Need a pair of underwear.
Right.
Bay City Rollers all the way, baby.
Yeah. So anyways, I just was spending time playing that because, I have them hanging in this room that all of our other instruments in the house are in. All my kids play all kinds of instruments. So we kind of have like a music room. And so I walk in and I'm usually pulling one to actually write or practice my band music. And I said, I really need to play that Explorer because that guitar is awesome.
Well, it plays like a dream.
It really does. It's
Like
a
a
fantastic
dream.
guitar.
Todd and I have pretty much the same guitar. They just made them very playable.
It would be really interesting to see, because they're the same year, I believe.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see how far away our serial numbers are.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be?
As is on our double
Juniors,
cutaways too.
yeah.
The junior, the specials,
Specials, right?
the special
You know what?
cutaways.
They don't even, they're not classified as anything, actually. Technically. It just says Les Paul on the headstock, and there's no special or junior or any of that. It's just a double cutaway Les Paul.
Mine. Oh, you mean over the truss rod guard?
That's correct.
Mine says badass.
Oh,
Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to put that on there.
I've got a source for you.
Yeah, you.
Actually, it's near. It's in Philadelphia.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, custom truss rod covers. That's a thing.
Engraved truss rod.
Get out there and do that, everybody. Oh man, I can feel it coming on right now. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the floor. Okay, Wally, hit us. 4 on the floor.
Okay, so first one has to be fuzz, and there's so many good, noisy, aggressive fuzzes out there, but I would have to go with the Black Russian Big Muff.
Classic.
That's the pedal that I've never owned one, admittedly, but a lad who I used to know when I was in Beijing playing in bands used to put his bass through one, and it just sounded so good. It was just perfect.
Wow.
Through any amp.
Wow.
It was just perfect. And I think, that was the thing. One of his friends had tweaked the tone control as well, so he didn't have that massive mid scoop, and it was just spot on. And I got to play around with it because it broke, so I fixed it for him, and I was just like, "Oh, this is just perfect." It's just there's something about it that the other Big Muffs don't have, or the ones I've played anyway, because you know what they're like. It's just really, it's got that kind of bite, that Big Muff sound.
Sure.
You've got to have fuzz, as far as I'm concerned.
No argument here, man.
I'm getting excited. I don't know what to say because I just love fuzz.
So how did they come up with that name, Big Muff?
I don't know. I don't understand what it means at all.
I like the big boxes they come in. I actually made a pickup winder out of a Big Muff box.
Yeah, that's the whole thing as well with the presentation.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. And it was, when I opened it up and I was like, oh yeah, of course it's just the Big Muff circuit. It's not a huge circuit.
No.
And there's all this empty space, but it sounds like it fills that box.
Right.
It does.
You know what I mean? It's just like big and like all the old like Russian stuff, some of it doesn't age terribly well and it looks a bit beaten up. Mm-hmm. And that makes it look like class as well.
Yeah.
It's just,
it looks like something that was used in the field in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. I like it.
Pre-perestroika.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe would you ever attempt doing that, the like a version of that with the mid put back in it?
Well, that's what the Get was based on.
Oh, wait, don't get into it yet then. Just you hold on there.
Okay. I said nothing about any of that.
All right, give us number 2.
So number 2, and I don't know whether to put this before or after the fuzz because they're equally fun, and it's an octave, and I'm going to go for the Muar octave, not the Tender Octaver or whatever it's called, the new one, the old one.
Okay.
Which does like 2 octaves below and 2 above.
Okay.
And
so kind of like a sub and up, except by Moore.
Yeah.
Mooer, everybody.
That's right, yeah. So when I was, I've played guitar since I was about 14, and I started playing drums when I was 10. And since then, I've kind of like done one or the other. And how many years ago? 2013, I ended up in Beijing. I'd been in China for a bit before that, but I was like, I want to go to Beijing and start a band. And I started buying bits of kit. And I remembered the good old Boss OC2 and all the fun that I used to have with that, because I used to just love having like this big synthy kind of sound. And I found like these Muars and I was like, they're pretty cheap and cheerful. I'll try them out. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is
that their cell line, cheap and cheerful?
It's like, because I didn't want like that perfect, like excellent tracking, like it's like another guitarist is playing along with you kind of thing. I wanted like just messy octave fuzz noise kind of thing.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'll put it before. And then I was like, oh, I'll put it after. And I was like, oh, they're both so good. Which is just my whole thing is just noisy fuzzes and octave.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going with that one.
Don't bother tracking. We're getting
you don't need any tracking. You just,
yeah.
it's all great harmonic content.
That's awesome. Those
like,
little Moore pedals are pretty indestructible too, man. They're built they're built really solid.
Yeah, I have to say that I was very impressed. I mean, people like to slag off anything that comes from China, and fairly often they're right. But there's also it's more and more now the case that they can be wrong.
Yeah.
I've had bad experience with some Joyo stuff.
Yes.
But Moore has been pretty solid.
Yes.
In my experience. So
yeah, they still and they actually retain their value pretty well too on the used market. They tend to hold it. One of their more popular ones, the Trelicopter, which I actually owned at one point, is it's kind of like pricing wise, it's like you can count on the Trelicopter to hold its price. You can count on a Big Muff to hold its price, and you can count on an OCD to hold its price. They're never gonna; those prices will always be pretty much the same, almost no matter what. So that's kind of cool. What's number 3?
Okay, so 3. Let's go. Okay, so I think you've got to have some kind of delay in there, and I would go with the one that's always been on my board. Well, not always, but since I bought it, it hasn't left, and that's the Wampler faux tape.
Oh
Echo. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I knew what I wanted in a delay, and I tried out pretty much everything. It was a few years ago now. And it was actually when I was in America for the first time with the wife before she was the wife, before we decided that we were going to move back.
The pre-wife.
The pre-wife. And I tried out which one is it? The T-Rex. What's it called?
Yeah. No, it
is, isn't it?
Yeah, T-Rex did make a tape or tape-ish echo.
That's the one that actually has the tape on it.
Is it?
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't that one. It was it was one with a tap tempo.
Okay,
that's right. It was Replicator. It was orange. I remember that it was orange.
Okay,
can you spell that?
And I was like, it's all right. But it just doesn't. There's something about it that's not there. It's a little bit clinical. And the guy was like, hey, these Wampler pedals are doing great. Why don't you try one of these? And I was like, it doesn't look like it's up to much, but I'll give it a shot. And I was just like, yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That was the great thing that I'd never heard of this brand. I mean, obviously I know of Brian now, getting into making pedals and stuff, but just this brand that came out of nowhere, and I was like, it looks rather plain. And then I played it, I was like, oh my God, this is a keeper.
Yeah.
And I like the tap tempo was perfect, and the just the wobble. Again, I like things that are out of tune and out of time, basically.
Oh, you can play in my band then. Out of tune and out of time.
That's funny.
And off key. We like that too.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that is one of those things with the Wampler pedals. It's like, if you don't know about them and you don't know the origin and you don't know the total quality of them, they, especially in the market now where it's like you really have to do a lot to get somebody's attention. Their pedals are plain may not be the right word, but they're not super duper flashy, crazy graphics pedals, but
you know what they do have? You know what they have? They have the word Wampler on
That's right. That's right. That's true.
That's all they need.
That is true.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you like to hear the Wampler interview, you go to guitarknobs.com and check it out, everybody.
Guitar Knob.
Yep. Okay, last one, number 4.
So the last one, I was struggling with this a little bit, and I almost went for the OCD because, I mean, it's pretty good for the kind of stuff that I like. If I want I like a more responsive kind of boost / overdrive into distortion kind of pedal. But I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go for the internet.
Ooh.
The Dwarfcraft internet.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Wait a minute. You may have hit a pedal that we're not familiar with.
I don't know that one.
Tell us all about it.
So
we're going to look it up.
Yeah, it's a rather amusingly named pedal. And it's just that kind of like, it's a nice gritty overdrive and it's 2-foot switches. So you've got like loud and louder. And it was just spot on. And I remember I was actually taking a wee trip to Japan and I met with one of my British friends because obviously, you know, I was in China at the time and he was in the UK. So we would meet up in Japan. Not that it's in the middle or anything, but that's where we met. And he mentioned this pedal and I was like, you know, when you just have a feeling about something as soon as you hear it. Yeah. And then I checked it out and I was like, that's amazing. So I trekked around all of Tokyo to try and find one. And I finally like got one. And I was like, I saw it in the cabinet and I was like, and I didn't want to leave the cabinet in case anyone else came to get it. So I was just like stood there for a while, just going, oh yeah, that's it. I just want to look at it.
That is an amazing looking pedal. I can't believe I've never seen this.
It's really good as well. It's one of those pedals that seem to have slipped by like a lot of people, but it sounds like fantastic, or at least for the stuff that I like. Well,
a lot of the Dwarfcraft stuff is also sort of like it seems to be for some people and not for others.
Yeah, I can see that.
But man, that is awesome looking.
Yeah, and one other good thing is it stacks really well with the OCD. So I've got both of them on my board at the minute.
How does it play with your fuzzes?
I see what I do is I've got a Boss line selector and I flick between like a clean or overdriven sound and a full-on fuzz sound with like with all the octave and fuzz going crazy. So I can flick between like clean and the crazy fuzz synth sound or like overdriven.
I gotta check out this pedal, man. You got me all flustered now.
Jacked up.
I like this.
Look at this.
What's that? Let's. What?
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, pull the trigger on one of those. Just buy it. Yeah, we're buying one off of Reverb right now as we speak. That's rad. Dang it. I may have to buy that off you, Tony, if it's too crazy for you. Anyways, cool. Thank you for sharing that and for enlightening us. This is exciting. You know what? Maybe we should buy all of them. And then once we release this, resell them for more. No, we would never do that. But anyways, cool. Awesome. That is a great 4 on the floor. Thank you for sharing that with us. So let's talk about you, Wooly, a little bit.
Okay.
It's funny. When I first saw your pedals, like it's kind of weird. Just like you were talking about this pedal where you like, as soon as you hear about it or see it, you're like, yeah, I'm in. Right. And I saw them and I was like, that's a guy I can hang with. I hadn't even heard your pedals yet. I literally just saw a picture of him and I was like, that's it. I like this guy. Then a little box arrived and I had some supersonic fun, which was awesome. And I love the fact that you have created something in a sea of uniqueness that is actually unique among that uniqueness. And that's really cool.
I'm a pretty weird guy, to be honest. So.
Well,
yeah, well, you gotta be, because you know. Okay, so at this point, everybody's like, what are you guys talking about? I'm driving. I can't see I don't know what this is. I can't understand this guy. And then there's the guy on the phone too. You know, so anyways, I'm going to just describe this a little bit. So if you've seen these pedals, if you haven't seen these pedals, the thing that attracted me to them right off the bat was that they're hand painted. So Wooly hand paints each of these, and each of them have a slightly different design. Not radically to where you don't get something that you didn't want, but each one has just, whether it's a slightly different colors or, the toes or the claws are long. So it's great. He puts these really cool random things on there. And, I'm going to pull up one of your pedals. Let's say the Fat Get. All right. It's got a pair of underwear. It's got a lightning bolt. And that's the first I saw. It's got a lightning bolt. I'm in, right? I love lightning bolts. And then a pair of hairy legs with some big Flintstone toes on it. Yeah. And lots of switches. Look, is there a guitar player out there that just based off that description isn't all in on these? I dare you. Raise both hands if you're driving.
Use your knees to steer.
Yeah. That's just one of the pedals, but man, your imagination is so wild. I love it. I've mentioned before, I'm in the creative industry. So when I see something that's surprising, that is creative, it's really exciting to me. So you have me on two levels. You have me from, on a creative end, these are amazing. And on an audio end, I'm looking at those and I'm like, there's no way that those sound boring at all. It's impossible. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. I'm going to be all over the place. How did you get started doing all this, man?
Okay. Right. Basically, I mean, I've been playing guitar for a while, and I've always loved pedals. Like, when all the multi-effects and stuff started to come out, I just wasn't interested. I was like, no, I want my Rat and I want my Metal Zone or whatever at the time. And so that's always been a thing. And I've always drawn, like when I was a kid, I used to draw crazy stuff. That's always been a thing. And then, how many years ago? Pretty about, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years, but I have no idea if that's right.
Yeah.
I was, I was in Beijing at the time, and the guitarist in the band that I played with was like, would you like to come back to mine, drink some whiskey, and make a guitar pedal? And I was like, yes. Yes, why wouldn't I? So we went back, got drunk, and we did like a little, I think it was a Fuzz Factory kit. And just as soon as I sat down, I was like, this is what I want to do forever. Like this should be the rest of my life. And that's where it started. And basically from that day, because my job was quite easy, so I could just kind of cruise through, and I just printed off everything the internet had about making pedals. And I just read everything like all day, every day. So yeah, I mean, it just like, it totally took me from like the first time, because my dad was a technology teacher, and he taught me how to solder when I was a kid. So that wasn't like a new skill or anything. Mm-hmm. And then just sitting down and being like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then like asking my friend, like going, so what bit of a circuit makes the bass do this? And he goes, it doesn't work like that really. Like, it's not like you have a component for the bass and a component for treble. And I was like, very interesting. I'll go and read about that. And then, like just going like, oh, this is like a whole new world. So I kind of got swept up in that. I started doing like kits at the start and just looking at schematics and just like trying to work out like what was doing what. I don't know whether you know someone called Fuzzdog. But if you do DIY pedals,
I
or
do.
If you make clones and stuff,
I do. I usually get my stuff from Mammoth.
Okay, well, Fuzzdog does all the PCBs for a lot of like modded clones, or things that are generally in the DIY community.
Fuzzdog.
Yeah, Fuzzdog. So I think it's pedal. Oh, is it pedalparts.co.uk?
Okay.
Shop.pedalparts.co.uk. I think that's right.
Okay.
And so when I went back home, when I was like, I'm going to make pedals for a living when I leave China, I just happened to be in a practice room back in Newcastle, and I saw this flyer. It was like, do you make pedals or something, or interested in making pedals? And I was like, oh, yes, I am. So then I checked out this website, and it was like the Fuzz Dog website, and it turns out that he's actually local to me.
Oh,
He
wow.
actually lived like just around
What
the
are the
corner.
chances? Wow.
So like, I chatted with him a bit, and he was really helpful. I mean, you'll know, like, because you had Brian Wampler on the other week. Like, people in the DIY pedal community are just so helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're really nice and they're really supportive. And then just through that and just getting a breadboard and just jamming things in and seeing, like, what sounds like they get out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like anything, like, just not giving up. Because, like, the first time I, like, built something on, like, perf board, it didn't work. Then the second time it worked. Then third time didn't work. And you've got, like, a 50%, success rate. And then slowly it gets to the point where most things work.
That's like a 30% success rate, but we'll just...
As we say, we like to say, third time's a charm.
So, yeah, I mean, basically, like, I'm not good with, like, structure and rules and grammar and maths and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I learned how to play drums and guitar, and I speak Chinese and Japanese, but I did it all by, like, basically listening and working out what was going on rather than, like, learning all the theory. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to imagine in my head you speaking Chinese with your Geordie accent. Can you do
I
a
can
little
do Japanese
bit
with a Sean Connery accent.
Do it.
Hajime mashite. Dojo yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Taro no baku desu.
Oh, don't worry, gato.
Yeah. That's
I hate myself. My books keep falling off.
That's good.
I have not heard that. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
My books keep falling off. Oh man. All right. I didn't even pay for comedy night. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so now let's get serious, dude.
All
right. So now you're back at home. You're modding pedals, or you're building pedals.
Building pedals. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do mods, and I know, like, that's how Mr. Wampler started, and he was like, oh, I could just, do this thing. But I really want to learn everything there is to do. So what I'll do is, like, I found out about, like I said, with Sausage Fingers, I started with the Boss OC2 schematic, and then just put it all in the breadboard. And then what if I take this out? What if I put this in? And what if I change this value? And just messed about with it. So it's, it starts with the idea of a modified pedal, but then I just keep on tweaking it until it's something else.
It is something else. Most of those. You need your own category. Okay, so you got the sound to where you like it. Now help us understand your wild world of graphics, because these are probably, I mean, these really do stand alone out in the pedal world, truly, and that is a great compliment, I think. So tell us, how'd you get there with that?
Like years of procrastination, I think. Like, because I said I've always, like, drawn and done stuff, and I was always like, oh, I'll do, like, a comic book, or no, I probably shouldn't do, or oh no, I'm gonna get distracted by this thing over here. Oh, I'll do, like, a little zine. Yeah, I'll do some little doodles in it. I'll just go back to work and do this thing. And, like, basically doing that for years, and just having loads of little doodles and, like, characters and things that have, like, popped up or kind of created themselves. And
It's kind of like if Uncle Grandpa and Adventure Time got in a fight.
Yeah. Are you sure it has nothing to do with Newcastle Nut Brown Ale?
Newcastle Brown Ale.
Yes. Are you sure?
That's the kind of stuff I doodled, when I was in school and I didn't want to pay attention.
I'm thinking it might just be paint thinner. I don't know.
It's quite possible.
Oh, yeah. Someone pointed out, when I was doing some of them, he said, "Do you remember Mad Balls from when you were a kid?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
What?
Do you remember Mad Balls? Those little squishy balls had stupid faces on them.
Oh,
Mad Balls.
Yeah.
Mad Balls. Yeah, man.
Yeah. He's
and I
like,
was
that's what I said.
"Oh yeah,
Mad
that might have been an influence on me as a child."
Yeah. I can see
And
that.
Garbage Pail Kids as well.
Of course. Yeah, man.
Yeah. When you get to let's talk about some of your actual pedals here. Let's go through your pedals. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. So I'm on your website, and let's check out the Fat Get.
Okay.
And this is the one that I think I first saw, and I was like, "What the hell is this? I love it."
That's a great.
So, just walk us through the whole thing, man.
Okay, so the Fat Get was the first real Champion Leccy pedal, actually, and it started with that Black Russian Big Muff that I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
So after borrowing it off my friend, I was like, took some photographs of the inside to try and gain the secrets, and then I was like, I want to develop this, and I got on a breadboard and I started with that, the idea of doing something with a Big Muff circuit. And then it was probably about a year and a half ago when I first came to America, I found the schematic for the Mid-Fi Electronics random number generator. And it was really simple. And I was like, I think I should see what this does. And then I built that into the Big Muff circuit. And I was like, oh my God, it makes some crazy octave thing. And then I did some more tweaking, added some more bits and tweaked some values. And it got to the point where I was like, oh, this just, because I like playing single note stuff. Like I say that, I only use one finger when I play guitar. And it was just like noisy and like it's got all the crazy harmonic content everywhere. And I was like, I think that this should be a pedal that I make. So I contacted Doug from Mid-Fi and I was like, hey, I've just made this thing and it kind of includes like part of your circuit. I've changed it a bit, but is it all right if I, maybe put these out? And he was like, maybe. And then I sent him a video and then he was like, oh yeah, man, that's awesome. That's totally different. Like you got your own thing going on there. You're not like just ripping off my design. So yeah, go for it, man.
That's
and
cool.
I was like, really? That's so nice of you. Thank you.
Well, here's a tip. It's always easier to beg forgiveness than to ask permission.
That's right.
Yes.
So yeah, no, he was really cool about it. He was like, oh yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, go for it. So I was like, someone approves of me. So, so
I like when you're being sincere, you turn into a granny. Oh, really? Oh.
That's also my every mother voice. Like, no matter where in the world you're from, like, oh, would you put that away? Get down from there.
Okay, so all right, you made this awesome circuit, and I have played this, and this is such a great pedal. Everybody, we'll get into why it's a great pedal. First, let's keep going with just the circuitry and stuff and the sound, and then we'll get to what this thing looks like. All right. So you got your basic circuitry down, and then you started figuring out you got some switches here. Walk us through the switches.
So on the Fat Get, there's the Podge switch. Oh, wait, are you talking about the Evil Twin with all its crazy switches?
No, we'll get to that one too.
Okay. So, the Fat Get is pretty simple when you come down to it. Mm-hmm. It's got fuzz.
Right. That's spelled F-U-R-Z.
Yeah, which is like fuzz, which is the gain.
Right.
And then, hold on a second. Then it's got girth, which is the tone control.
G-I-R-T-H.
Yep. Then it's got podge.
Right.
Which is a switch.
P-O-D-G-E.
That is like it slightly alters the tone control.
Right. So Podge is fat, right? Podge is like chubby, right?
Yeah. So so on the girth knob, sorry, on the girth knob, when you turn it from
few people will get that, but when they do, they will laugh.
When they turn it from 12 o'clock onwards, it's got a bit more mids. So it's not quite as thin. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then the next straight up. I see it. It's pointing straight up.
Yeah.
And then,
So what you're saying is if you twiddle that knob, you get more girth.
yeah, very.
Okay.
Then we've got Bloat, and the
Right.
Bloat is a blend between the fuzz, or the Big Muff style fuzz, and the crazy oscillations. What's the word? All the crazy harmonic content and suboctave and glitchiness. So that's really balancing the level out.
Right.
And then the last knob's gut, and that gut is your master volume.
Right.
So then the 2 foot switches are fuzz, which just puts it on, and then Bloat is I've actually got 2 options, because if you have it on a latching foot switch and you stop playing for a while, you do get some like kind of crazy oscillations, which might not be for everyone. So I've done some with a momentary switch, so you can just hold it down to get your crazy big
That's
sounds.
the one that you gave me, the momentary bloat.
Yeah. So that Bloat is all the craziness.
Yeah. So what happens is you're playing this pedal and you're like, wow, this thing sounds awesome. And you're like, oh, I got my sort of like my power tone that I can sit there and basically carry a whole song with, right? But if you step on the Bloat, like for a lead or for a bridge or something like that, it just goes freaking crazy. Yeah. And it sounds awesome. It sounds like somebody up on the soundboard is having a fight with somebody. I don't know how it just goes bonkers. So it was really fun. It was a pedal that sounded live. I don't know how else to explain that. A lot of pedals, when you're running your signal, they can sound contained. This does not sound contained at all, especially when you hit Bloat. It feels very alive. So you have a pair of underwear, and by the way, everybody's pedal comes in a different color underwear, and it's got a giant lightning bolt. Again, awesome. Don't know why, but I don't care. It also has a pair of hairy, naked legs with trousers around the ankles. Where'd all this come from?
Like a fever dream or something? I can't remember.
Oh man, a fever dream. Holy mackerel.
I did have one graphic of like a guy sitting on the toilet reading a newspaper, but it was too big to fit on a pedal. Like you just wouldn't be able to see all of it. And I think that was one of the reasons why I'd like separated the components of this picture. Like some underpants that may just be on the floor. It might be a bad trip to the loo, and then just the bare legs.
You should separate the pictures, but if you put, on different pedals, but if you put those pedals in order, it'll complete the picture like a puzzle.
So,
well, the biggest question I have is how do the underpants come off with the ankles, or with the pants still around the ankles?
that is a magic trick.
It is.
Maybe he's looking over them, seeing like, oh yeah, that's what I forgot. Who knows?
Maybe they're not his pants.
Maybe they're not his pants. Oh man!
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, super fun. I love that the legs are. So we're looking at this one, and the legs are bright orange with blue pants around the ankles, but they're all
Not necessarily his pants.
It's like hilarious.
It's like
great.
a Muppet.
And you hand paint each of these, right?
Yeah. So I've done however many I've done up till now, but I'm gonna change some of the stuff about how I produce the pedals. So the next batch of pedals, I've done the artwork, but I'm getting them acid etched by Worthies, which he does the stuff for Lamp Electric.
Okay,
if you know them.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna do that for a while, but I'm gonna come back and do some more elaborate painted ones as more like special edition.
Ooh,
Nice.
You gotta let us know when you do that, man.
Yeah, so I'm working on a better technique to make them like they're gonna be like really nice. So I'm gonna look into getting some proper enamels, because I've used acrylics on these ones so far. Use the Posca pens.
Yep.
And they've been fine. They've been great, but it's a rather lengthy process.
You're painting them with acrylic pens.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only way you're going to get those fine details.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and work out how to do the same thing with enamels, and then I'm going to use what's it called? Epoxy resin.
Mm-hmm.
Because that stuff, you don't have any problems with putting that over any kind of paint.
Yeah.
And it's like glass.
That's
So,
awesome.
If I can master that, then they're going to be some like really nice special edition ones with probably some more elaborate artwork.
That's fantastic. Well, these are great. So, a lot of times you don't really realize why the pedal that you may be interested in is worth the price. And this is certainly one of those reasons. I mean, these are hand painted by you, and they're hand wired by you, and you thought of everything on here. This is like completely original. So Jared's learning how to operate a refrigerator in the background. So, all right, let's check out the next one that you sent us, which was the Evil Twin.
Yes. And if I'm honest, like, I don't know how or why it does what it does, but it does.
It does. That's a good way to say it. I mean, your description should just say it does.
It does.
It is very difficult to explain. I couldn't explain it to these guys, and I brought it over to Tony's, and I just said, "Here you go, man." And he's like, "Well," and I'm like, "Here you go, man."
So yeah, basically, what I wanted to do was like this kind of like JFET boost. So I kind of worked out like basically from scratch what I needed to do and put a little schematic together, and then checked in with my much more knowledgeable, this was years ago, by the way, checked in with my much more knowledgeable friend, and he was like, you probably don't want that value there. What about putting a bot here and this and that? And I was like, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Got that sorted. And I was thinking about doing some like boosts and stuff, and I was like, what happens if you put like 2 of them in a row? And I was like, it just makes it louder and more fuzzy. And I was like, what happens if you put like a little feedback loop in here? Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And then I kind of hit on something where I was like, oh my God, it's making crazy sounds.
Yep.
So it's basically 2 boosts in one, and you can play it as like 2 boosts, and you can have one clean and you can have one like dirty. It's kind of like what I describe as a distorto fuzz kind of sound.
You actually did. I mean, in your description, it says the perfect storm of bad engineering practices and dark magic. It's capable of a load of JFET overdrive through to distorto fuzz and a whole bunch of weird noises, oscillations, drones, glitchy suboctave, pseudo tremolo, and screeching feedback too.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what it does.
Did you leave anything off?
Or do you need?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I basically found that with the combination, because it's 2 foot switches, and with different combinations, one is just a clean boost, so that's that. But when you've got the other one on, the evil one, the sinister one, which is why it's on the left, and either that by itself or in a combination with the one on the right, it does different things. So if you get it oscillating, you can actually play it as an oscillator, because you can use the controls on your guitar, you can use the switches, and you can use the knobs to make it
right,
or whatever you want. And that was enough at the start. I was like, that's pretty fun. And then I found that if you turned the gain all the way down and the volume up, it basically acted like an LFO. And then depending on different switches, because that's one with all the crazy switches in the middle.
Yes.
And the combinations.
That just have a bunch of question marks. I was like, that's helpful.
Because I was like, I don't know what to like even call this. Like, it's just happened by accident.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could get, I mean, my favorite one, if you can dial it in, is this like kind of like pseudo tremolo, where it basically goes and it that all depends on, so if you play hard, it'll be like and it'll like be a bit random towards the end. And like I say, it's got the kind of glitchy suboctave thing where I think you've got to have both foot switches on for that, and you're playing basically an octave below, but also sometimes it just flips up and does an octave, the octave that you meant to be playing in.
It may or may not do the things that you may or may not say it does.
Nothing like a totally unpredictable pedal.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes you hit 2 different frets and it plays the same note.
That is true. That is a wild thing. It's like you can, I don't even know how that happens. Maybe that's why you have all the question marks. But literally, exactly. You can hit the 3rd fret, then hit the 5th fret, and it'll be the exact same note. Like, what the? This is nuts. Anyways, that was super fun and loud. That was a seriously loud pedal. Yes.
That can get you out of a situation, whereas, hey, it didn't sound right.
That can put you in a situation, too.
Well, you can get you out of it to say, hey, I had this pedal on. You know, that's I was screwing up. You know,
blame the pedal.
Yeah,
that's right.
You just shrug at the audience. I don't know. Look, it says questions. I don't know.
It's this pedal.
Oh, that's boy. Clever. So
it
that
wasn't in my chain at the start of the night. Someone's having a prank.
So the graphics that you have on this one, there's on each one of these, you call it the Evil Twin. On the left side, for the left foot pedal, there is some sort of character, and on the right side, there is another character. And these characters don't necessarily have anything to do with each other.
Yeah.
The one's a frowning ice cream cone.
a triple scoop frowning ice cream cone.
Quadruple.
Yeah. And then the other one's cut off. But and then there's a scary. You've had some really fun ones on here. Like I think there was a devil guy at one point, and a ghosty guy, and and then is this the one where they're coming out of the nose?
Yes.
Yes.
With little ghost sneezes.
Yeah. He's got some characters where the one on the right has like a little ghost like popping out of its nose. And it's like, hello.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh man, they're fantastic. So good. So good. Let's see. What else did you sent me those two? Oh, you also have the Divi.
Yeah. So those are the two that I sent you because I thought it'd be more fun to send the crazy stuff.
Yes.
First, the other things that I've got out at the minute are I've got the Fettle Boost. Oh yeah, I should probably mention the names. Apart from Evil Twin, Fat Get. Get is my dialect for git. Which is kind of like a jerk.
Okay.
A bit.
Fat jerk.
Yeah. Fat jerk. And then so like Fettle Boost. I mean, I don't know whether you use the word fettle in America. It's like an old English word that we still use in our dialect, but it's like your mood.
Oh,
so
no, we don't.
Boost is like it boosts your mood, but it's also a JFET boost, so it works and it's doubly clever.
Ah,
yeah. But I'm probably not gonna continue with them, so I've got about 9 or 10 sitting here. If people start buying them,
why not?
But it's just a bit plain.
Okay.
To be honest, I mean it's an all right. It's basically just one half of an Evil Twin. With, has it got anything extra? Well, it's got all the controls in there. So it's got like gain, volume, a boost switch, and it's got a
high pass
filter. Yeah. Hip ass filter.
Hip ass filter.
Yeah. So yeah, those are. I mean, they're all right.
I think it's hilarious though that you're hand painting these and you chose to do like a pixelated color spectrum. What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
What a hassle.
You know when you just like get something in your head and you're like, yes, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you go, oh, it's done now.
Yeah.
Hey, man. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. These are great. Okay, so let's go. That was the Fettle Boost.
Yep.
Then you got the Divi.
So the Divi is... Of all the pedals I've done, it's the least modded, but it's based on a harmonic percolator.
Ah.
Which I've never actually played, but I heard other people's like versions of them, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And it's a really simple circuit, so I played around with that, changed. I mean, the schematic, if you look at my schematic versus the original, it's pretty similar. It's just a couple of value changes and some choice transistor selection. Because you can't get those ones anymore. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of went, I'll just do this. Because when I'm getting PCBs done or whatever, I'll be like, I've got a little bit of space. What do I want to do? And I'll just like come up with something. And so I just did that. And I was like, it sounds really good. So I've just done a second version, which has a 3-way switch. Divi means idiot. It's because it's a one knob fuzz. And it's like the version one's just got one massive knob on it. So.
Yeah.
Yep. That is a massive knob.
That is.
Yeah, it's the biggest I could find. So yeah, the second version has got a 3-way switch for it's like basically two quite different sounds, and the one in the middle is, I'm going to leave it in there, but it's quite close to one of them. But it goes from like a really doomy, open kind of fuzz.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, kind of, you mentioned about like that kind of open sound with the Fat Get. That's kind of one of my things is I like stuff to be open and big and warm sounding. So I kept that, and I didn't sell any for a while. And then I've sold like quite a few in the last few weeks, and people have been saying that they really like them. So I'm going to continue with that. And
That's
actually,
great.
I've just done a double version in one box, which is called the Numpty. Numpty is also an idiot. It's a similar class of.
I love that all your pedals are named after like derogatory sort of humans.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a new one that's coming. I'm just sorting out a few little bits with that.
So what's that one going to be?
That's 2 divvies in one box. It's 2 of the version 2 divvies.
Saw a movie like that once.
Yeah. Now the graphics on these ones, just so people, if they're looking for this, this is, as he said, this is one gigantic knob, but it also has a sort of a squashed looking face. But each one of these has like stuff coming out of their noses and stuff. Right?
Yeah. I think actually there's 2 which I forgot to put on, because I think I've got I've got 4 of the divvies still in stock. There's the monkey grump, the drunk grump, the decapitated grump, and the biker uncle grump, which is a guy with a nice big beard, and he's got snot running horizontally across his cheeks.
Nice.
From, speeding on his little push bike or whatever.
Yes, and if you're enticed by the snot bit, they all have some snot.
Yeah.
In some form or another.
Or it's a ghost coming out of their nose.
Yeah.
There's also ghosts coming out of various orifices, or just some fluids or blood coming out of a nose. Or
I think the stuff with the ghost coming out of the nose would actually make a pretty cool tattoo. These are actually very tattoo friendly.
I agree.
Yeah, those would be pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. So you're doing your artwork on these. Do you have that available, or what are you doing with the artwork besides putting them on pedals?
Okay, so I started using those print on demand sites and putting some of the designs on t-shirts, like what's it called, like threadless or whatever they're called. But it was like, it just took a long time, and no one bought any because no one knows. And then it was like setting up another Instagram account, and it was such a time suck that I just thought, like, no, I need to focus on the pedals. I'm probably gonna do some of my designs on t-shirts in the future, but I'll just get them printed locally. I'll get, someone who's got a screen printing kit to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
These make such great t-shirts too.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Or even big poster prints.
Yeah, big poster prints.
That's another thing. I mean, I've got the stickers on the website, and I'm going to be,
or even little
new
poster
stickers.
prints, to be honest, because there's something about them being small that's actually really cool. Like almost like postcard size. Like, man, that's something you should do. That you'll make money. People will buy them. You will sell them.
So what about your stickers though?
Yeah. So I do the designs, and then because it's nice to put stickers in the boxes. So what I'm doing is I think like about 50 of each, maybe it's 100, and then when they're gone, they're gone. And then when I need more stickers, I'll just do new designs. Nice. And there'll be something that I've taken from like one of the pedals that I've painted. And yeah, I'm just kind of cycling through the art like that. Really.
Awesome.
Yeah. But you mentioned like paintings. I did do got some very nice paper in, and I got my Posca pens out, and I did some art for a lad called Kevin Shone.
From Shone's Wood.
That's the chap,
Yeah, Shone.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it was a couple of months ago. He just kind of sent me a message on Instagram. And he's like, "Oh man, I really like your pedals. The artwork is great. I'm going to send you some like wooden knobs that I've made." And I was thinking like, what?
Yeah.
Send me something free. He obviously wants to steal my Sun amplifier. You know,
I just need your social security
and he makes
number. Right.
he makes some pretty nice pedals himself.
he makes like really, really nice stuff.
Yeah.
He makes pedal boards and he does like pedal enclosures. So
they're out
anyway,
of used skateboards, right?
yeah, that's exactly right. And he's got everything like down to T. And you know what? Like I was saying, he kind of like said, "Oh, send me this stuff," and I was like, "This guy's weird." And then I realized like it's because he's Canadian. He's just that nice. It was actually just genuinely was like, "Hey, I'll send you this stuff, man. Don't worry about it." And he sent me a pedal board in exchange for me doing some artwork for him. So I got some fancy paper, got the Poscas out, and did some artwork. Just the usual stuff that I do from the pedals. So just underpants. And whatever ghosts coming out of various things. So that's something that I think I might do in the future, just as like a maybe a more successful side hustle, is setting up like a shop on Etsy or something, and just doing like various doodles. And it doesn't take very long, and the characters are there and evolving. So yeah, maybe he's doing something like that.
Or maybe a coloring book.
You know what? You're the second person to say that.
That's
and I
not
totally
a bad
forgot
idea.
about that. And that is a really good idea, and I wish it was mine.
Yeah. you can run with it, man. Do it.
Royalty free. Free.
That's right.
That is awesome.
I think I might have to do that. That is a really good idea.
That's killer. Well, dude, I've just enjoyed talking with you so much. I'm sure that we will have you back on at some point in time. It's been a blast, and I think if you are enjoying this episode, definitely go check out this guy's stuff on anywhere on the internet that you can find it. Champion Leccy. Can you tell us about the origin of Champion Leccy?
This is another Geordie dialect thing. So champion is just like an exclamation. Like great, like if my mom comes in and she goes, "Oh, put the kettle on," I'll just say champion. Cheers, mom. And Leccy is electric, so it's like great electric.
Nice.
So it's Champion Leccy.
That's clever.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Like it.
I like that.
Yeah, super fun. So speaking of something that's champion,
Well, it's time for Would You Rather?
very nice.
This week's Would You Rather, it's about guitars, because this is a guitar podcast.
Yeah.
And so you have the choice. There's only a few guitars left in the world, and there's two that you have to choose from.
All right.
Because everybody else took all the other good ones.
They burned.
So,
They burned
exactly.
in the big fire.
But these are two interesting guitars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting is a word.
Interesting meaning.
It
ugly.
is. And we'll go through these a little bit. Would you rather have a PV Mystic?
Okay.
And it's like a star shaped, and it's just
It looks like a
Ugly.
cross between a star and a banana.
It-
and a
Yeah,
flying
an
bee.
excited starfish.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a lame starfish.
It's got the PV ferrite pickups, the rail ferrites, the
Yummy.
Like a starfish that's taking a nap on a rock
In the sun.
sideways. He's all bloated.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's got a bolt-on neck.
It's a weird guitar.
Made in
Yeah,
America,
it's real.
though.
Yeah,
It's
it's
made
exactly
in America.
right. Made in America. Or would you rather have an Ovation breadwinner?
Also made in America.
Now, for those of you that are not familiar with the older Ovations, this is a solid body electric guitar. And it's very weird. Just think like Star Trek type spaceships. I mean, this thing is oddly shaped.
It looks
Weird.
It
It looks like a traveler
battle
guitar.
axe,
No, it looks
almost.
like a traveler guitar.
It looks like a traveling battle axe.
Yes.
Basically,
can.
the choice is between a starfish before or after a traffic accident.
Yes.
or a traveling battle axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now the Ovation breadwinner that has a bolt-on neck made
Those are
in
still
America.
expensive guitars.
They're like $1,000. People want $700
Yes.
to
Oh, yeah.
$1,000 for these things.
They are the kookiest looking guitars out there.
They're 24 fret, and I'd imagine they're kind of heavy.
Nah, they're
not?
They're really light. That's a small body.
Why do they call it the breadwinner?
Because that's how you make your money.
Man,
It
that's how
boosted
you
their,
lose your money.
Interesting though.
It should be called a bread loser.
Eastwood Guitars put out a reissue of that,
Oh my gosh.
and I think was it Steve Marriott that played one.
If you look hard enough, you could find originals.
It looks like something that somebody in Yes would have played or
Right.
something.
Early 80s, late 70s.
Like, I don't know how else to explain that.
yeah.
Which,
Wow.
hey, yes, whatever. Yes. But,
Yeah.
but that other one, man, woof.
Into
Neither one of these would,
it's a choice between bad and worse.
you'd have to fight me to take my
I
money for
personally
either one
don't
of
know
these.
anybody that gigs out with these things.
I think I might pick up bass.
Yeah, you know what? There's a guy on the internet. Goes by the moniker of Dr. Groovy, and he's been a pretty controversial dude on the YouTube because he kind of is responsible for starting the tone wood war, basically saying like it doesn't matter what your guitar is made out of. It does not matter. And everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
And he's an interesting dude. And I've watched most of his videos, and there's a lot of interesting information. But this isn't the Dr. Groovy podcast.
Nah.
Anyways.
Okay. PV Mystic Ovation breadwinner.
All right. Tony, go.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, I have actually owned at least one of these over the years.
Why
What
at
the
least
heck?
one? What does that mean?
Well, I cannot divulge, but
You still have one.
no, I do not. I have one of neither. So I, from firsthand playing experience, I would probably, if I had to choose, I'd probably go with the breadwinner. Only because it was somewhat comfortable to play. Mm-hmm. The Mystic it's
The breadwinner's got a crap ton of switches on it too, right?
yeah, they did some cool stuff with in and out of phase and different things like that. So yeah, I mean, Ovation did some. They had a very limited.
It
run.
looks like if BC Rich made a guitar that was made out of the Yes logo.
Right. And they had to do it.
That's what it looks like.
Not so pointy.
Yeah.
not so pointy. But it's actually it's a relatively comfortable guitar to play.
All right.
I'm going to go with the breadwinner. But if I needed a weapon, I would probably go with the Mystic.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mystic is very weapon-like. You could pin someone up against the wall.
Yeah, it looks like a clothespin designed by Salvador Dali. All right.
So I wanted to ask you about the
Yes.
pickups on this. Are they they're like a mini humbucker size?
Yeah, I mean, almost.
So are there two coils or are they just single?
I'm pretty sure it's a true mini humbucker, like some of the Hofner pickups.
Okay.
In fact, they may be Hofner pickups. I'm not sure.
Okay. I just wanted to know
I thought they had staples on them, like the Hofner ones do.
So weird. Anyways, Jared, go.
Ovation breadwinner because it has 24 frets.
Okay.
And it's like Tony said, it's light.
It actually is surprisingly comfortable.
I'm glad he clarified that, or else I probably would have chose the other.
All right.
Can we
Wooly.
clarify? Can we clarify? Do these come with the original hard shell cases?
Oh, boy. Wooly, what are you doing? Which one?
I'm going to go with the breadwinner because I flipped a coin and that's what the coin said.
Heads you lose, tails you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it'd be a better weapon. So,
Yeah.
looks like you could really swing it at something, like a wall or a door. Take out a door.
Yeah.
Hey, man, people pay more for these anyway.
Yeah. There's just no way that I can go for that PV. No way. Not a chance in the world. I can't.
Your breadwinner, too.
How about if you could get two PV Mystics?
And 2, the Mystic.
Okay, 3 PV Mystics.
I'll go with the breadwinner too.
It's a winner. Ooh.
Brutal.
It won our bread.
Yes. Yeah. Oh boy.
Apologies in advance to Hartley PV.
Yeah. Anyhow. Oh boy. That was something. Hey, this whole thing's been something. But before we go, we want to make sure that we are giving a quick little shout out to our friends at Reverb. And we'd like to remind you that at Reverb, you will find a marketplace just for musicians all over the world. You can buy, sell, make offers, and negotiate with complete protection. You can do that with his pedals, with the Champion Leccy pedals. Whether you're selling from home or if music gear is your day job, there are millions of listings online already, and it's free to list yours too. Join the musicians marketplace at reverb.com.
Can I quickly interrupt there whilst we're on Reverb?
Oh, sure.
Because Reverb, like, firstly, like, fantastic stuff. Like, personally, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without that marketplace.
Yes.
So they're amazing. But also, how about a little bit of discount for your listeners?
I love this idea. Go ahead.
Okay,
Tell us more.
Well, so I've got a bunch of pedals on Reverb, and there's more coming. I have reduced some already, but like just to try and get some out the door. A lot of those have gone. So what I'll do is I'll do 15% off for any of your listeners.
Wow.
Of any of the full price models.
That is awesome.
Is there a way that they can identify themselves as listeners?
They can send me a message. In fact, anyone who's listening who's like, who is this weirdo, can send me a message at any point and ask me any questions. I'm more than happy to chat with people. And if people are like, oh, it sounds great and look at that weird thing, but I don't know if I want it, you can just, I can send you an extra video or description. I can describe what it does or, whatever helps. So feel free to contact me anytime through Reverb.
So on Reverb, if you go and you do buy one of those pedals, you can put in a discount code. And what are we going to call that code?
Let's go with Knob15.
Knob15.
Nice.
KNOB 15 for 15%. This is awesome. You guys listening, seriously, go check these things out. They will go. They will be gone. Get yours. That is very generous offer. We're much appreciated of that.
There's some other people I'm sure that we'd like to thank.
Mm-hmm.
Our executive producers.
That's right.
I think they become executive producers by going to Patreon.
Patreon.com.
Is it /
The
Guitar
Knobs.
And I think there are instructions on how you could do that.
Yeah, my parking meter's running out, son.
Oh, jeez. Go with
You go ahead.
What are one of the benefits of being an executive
You get
producer?
to have your name read on the thing.
You did it right.
And
Beautiful.
by thing, he means podcast.
Yes.
Without further ado, I would like to welcome once again Mr. Alex Leggett, Mr. Robert Marfleet, John Anglin, Chris Kearney, Sean Oliver Gonzalez, John Daly, Robin Smith, Derek Fitzer, Pete Marshall, Carlos Mancha, Matt Brammer, David Wolfson, Martin Cliff, and Tom Barazin. So, if you would like to become an executive producer or would like to help
just a
support,
contributor.
or just a contributor, we have plenty
Every
of those
little
folks
helps.
too.
Every
bit
anything
helps. Head over to patreon.com / the Guitar Knobs and find out how.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tony. Let's see. Wooly, how can people get a hold of you not outside of Reverb?
I do some DIY articles, and there's various bits and bobs on my own website, which is championleccy.com. Leccy is Leccy, just in case anyone's still confused.
Perfect.
And you can contact me through the website. And again, if there are any like DIY builders, if anyone is interested in making pedals and they want any help, then just, if I can help, then I'm more than happy to.
That's awesome.
That
killer.
really is, because there's so many people that hold their secrets
Close to their chest.
close to their chest.
Yes. Tony, How can people get a hold of you?
They can go to pickguardian.com.
Yep.
They can go to the various social media. I think most actively I'm on Instagram. That's pickguardian and the number 1.
Mm-hmm. And you are making some new T-shirts, which will be out soon. Those
New
are
T-shirts.
Cool.
They're actually, you can order them through the website. I just put them up the other day. Mm-hmm. They're going to be some cool T-shirts.
Cool.
Yes.
Check them out.
Jared?
If you need some pickup work done or custom pickups or restoration with an old finished pickup, get a hold of me, Jared, Jared, at BrandonWoundPickups.com. Website's BrandonWoundPickups.com, and I am also on the various social media.
Yes, all these things are true. Everybody, we thank you so much for being good and faithful listeners of our show. It means the world to us. We love hearing from you. Please, if you have thoughts, if you just want to give us a thumbs up, shoot something our way, whether that's on Facebook or at our website, theguitarknobs.com. I really do appreciate it. We look at everything that comes our way. We respond to it, and it means a lot to us. With that said, Wooly, sir, we thank you for being our friend.
Thank you. It's been an absolute hoot.
Cool.
Loved it.
Gotta meet you.
Yeah, we will figure out a way to hook up with you at some point. And in the meantime, everybody go check out his pedals and subscribe.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone know I'm pulling my trousers up.
Trousers. Millions of peaches.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.